So this is the match that I played against Pete Peterson for the first game of the championship qualifiers that we held in March of 2026. So we're off to a good start. Both rolled a 2-6. I got a 3-4, which could let me anchor, but I didn't even think about that. Just went ahead and made the hit. He replies with the 3-6. So 3 to come in, and then question of do you come out or do you hit? And he went ahead and hit, which is correct, of course. So now here we go. 5-4 comes in and can anchor, and this time that's super right, so that's good. 6-2, our third 6-2 of the game so far, and takes a moment to look for it, but he finds the hit outside, which is great. Get a 5-3, which, have to come in with one of them, so that's good. Rolls a 4-3, which could do a little bit of cleanup. So covering the lot there is one way of doing some cleanup. Then you have to still play the 3 somewhere, so that puts it back where the lot was, 6 away from my anchor, which I want to get off of, and then I was lucky and rolled a 6-4, so I could hit and cover my blot in the outfield. So that was a really good sequence for me. He gets a 6-4 as well, so comes in. The 6 is blocked to come out. So now the question is, do you split the back checkers? Do you dump one behind? He splits the back checkers, which is correct by quite a bit. And so now I'm looking at it, thinking I'm in pretty good shape, but, maybe not good enough shape to double. Spent a little bit of time kind of like thinking about, talking about that one. It's, the fact that I only have like a 1-point board still made means that it can't be right to double. So I go ahead and roll, and I get double ones, which is a fantastic roll, but I don't know what to do with it. So I was right to not double. So I look at just 6-4, which is often right, but it's, here I've got some other alternatives. So like, what if I hit, make the 5 and the bar? And that would have been good. That would have been really good if I had hit and made the bar, made the 5 in the bar. But I kind of looked at it and then put it back. Kind of spent a lot of time looking on things on this one. So like hit, then just keep going, hitting 2. That's a possibility also. Finally went back to this 6-4-2, which is a pretty significant blunder, but still leaves me in good shape. He rolls a 3-1, which then the question is, like, do you come in with the 3 or do you come in with the 1? If you come in with the 3, then the 1 is, 8-7 is the obvious thing for me. But now I go ahead and double because that was a pretty good sequence for me. And it's a pretty big double and also a pretty big take. So thinks about this one for a little while and then picks it up. And I immediately roll double 6s, which is fantastic. So I make the hit first and then think about what to do next. So it's like, do I make the 2-point? Do I run one around? Decide I must take those 2 out and then go ahead and make the bar. So, and that was good. So well done for me. His double 6s are not as good, so luck is definitely on my side right now. 6-3, I was kind of hoping I could make another point. It's not so much possible to do that, so spend a little bit of time thinking about this one as well. If that's my 6, then what's my 3? There's my 3. It doesn't really provide much protection, but 2s are an entering number, so 4-2 worked out. So he had to use the 2 to come in, and so then has to find a 4 somewhere else. And 8-4 slots the next point he wants to make, so that's a good way to do it. 6-3 lets me make the 5 points, so now I've got a 5 prime in front of his 3 blots, or his 3 checkers back on my home board. 4-2 could hit, but so he looks at, okay, I can hit, great. And then, yeah, things do not go as well for me after that. So he ends up putting that back. And, we had a nice little discussion about how, that was why it was safe for me to kind of leave the blot there, is because he had the 2 blots on board and all of that. So 5-2, super useful. Just ran to the 7. It's a little surprising to me that that's even wrong or whatever. It doesn't make much of a difference, right? So the 14-9 is clear, and then what's the 2? There's a lot of choices for it. Leaving it there would have been given me another builder maybe. So now he rolls double 2s. And the critical thing is stepping up to the edge of the prime. So, but there's other things you could look at. So could make the bar point or something, but that's not that important right now. So good play there. 6-5. So here I made a mistake. I was supposed to point on him on the 2. So that was pretty significant. He gets a 3-1. So making the 5 is important. Then not sure why the stepping up there is necessarily so bad, but the computer doesn't like it. 5-3 lets me just dump 1 behind. I looked at putting in 1 on the ace point as well, which would not have been that great, but I thought about doing that. So anyway. $6-5 is it kind of doesn't make a big difference what you do there. I probably would have run 1 out, but it certainly doesn't hurt to have the extra that you can use to hit and then keep your point, your anchor. Double 2s let me bring everything in, and looks like I've got this game well in hand at this point. 4-2 lets him cover that point. So it's pretty good. Double 2s. I can take 2 off. 93.4% to win this game at this point. 2-1. Just brings the checker in. 4-3 only takes 1 off, but leaves me even on the outside, so I'm in good shape there. Double 5s is a good roll. Reduces my gammon chances a bit. Slotting the aces, and just in case you get a shot later. Double 2s lets me take 2 off. 4-3. He has a complete board, so he's ready for me if I leave the shot. So I better not leave the shot. 3-1 lets me play one off. I liked just dumping one behind a little bit better. Then he gets double sixes, which is, great roll. Lets him, leave one back to harass me. So, but 5-3, I'm at 98.8% to win. It's getting a little awkward there. I might leave a shot on the next roll. 5-2, he has to crunch his board a little bit in order to be ready for the shot. And critical roll, 6-2, I get 2 off. Looking very unlikely to leave a shot now. 99.8% to win. 6-5 saves a lot of gammons, so that's pretty much the gammon chances are over now. He comments, I should probably just give up at this point. I said, nah, you should still roll it out, and so you never know what's going to happen. And then the dice were listening to me. They let him roll a double six, so he's off the gammon. Gets to take 3 off. And I'm down to 99% to win the game. So 6-1. Back up to 99.1% to win the game. So not too bad. Not worried about anything. 5-4. I get a 3-2, which, could have taken one off. Off the 5, doesn't matter. It's the same. Gets a 4-2. Oh, now he gets a 4-2. Cocked die, so we had to re-roll. I get a 3-1, so I'm still taking off one at a time. I probably still need 2 rolls to get off. He rolls double 4s, so all of a sudden I am scared. My winning chances just went from 99% to 89%. So rolled a 4-2, and so that doesn't matter. Again, as long as he doesn't roll doubles, then I'm still win the game. And double sixes, oh my gosh. So I went from 99%, 99+% to win the game to losing the game. So that was an incredible series there. And funnily enough, when you look at the sequence, it did not count. None of his rolls counted as super lucky or anything. So it was I still had the higher luck factor even after losing the game during from a 99% position. So it's just that is some backgammon for you. So off we go into game 2, and so he gets to start with the 3-1, makes the 5-point. 6-4. Do the out and down, which apparently should just do a run, but that's okay. 4-3. It's a little bit of an awkward roll, so the computer likes splitting down. That's what I was thinking at the time. But it's a little risky looking to do. You come down, then that's leaving a blot, so leaves a bunch of blots. So he decides not to do that. We get a 6-5, which lets me just make the bar point anchor. He gets another 3-1, so 3-1s are becoming less useful over time. So the 1 is good to unstack the 6-point, but so 6-5 lets me go ahead and make another homeboard point. So that's a pretty good roll for me. 3-2, can anchor and then slot the next point he wants to make. So that's a good roll for him. Kind of a decent sequence for both of us. 4-1, it's a little awkward. I don't want to leave a blot anywhere, so I go ahead and stack up on the 8. 6-2, he also doesn't want to leave blots anywhere, and he doesn't want to give up his 8-point. He could run to the mid, but that would be terrible. So he just, plays one into the 5. Well done there. Get a 2-1, which is not great. So, 4-2 could, cover and slot. Instead does a cover and come down. And then I have a lucky return. I get a 3-2, so I hit him and run to the midpoint, leaving me positioned to be in a good place. 3-1 lets him come in, and had to come in with the 1 because the 3 is covered. And double 3s is almost a good roll. It's a pretty good roll, I guess. It does let me make the 5-point and just move that blot forward at the cost of I have a big stack now on the 3. 4-2 I was missed, so that's feeling pretty positive. Things are going my way at this point. So he's got a 4-point board to my 3-point board, so that's pretty good for him. Double 5s now. So this is, so I can play the 15 to the 5, which is what I'm looking at there. And then what are the other 2 is the question. I can bring 2 down. I can just play 15 to 10 and then bring 3 down, or play 3 to the ace. There's a bunch of different options. I'm going to do that one, of course. I'm going to do that one, of course. And then I have to find 2 more. So that's 3 of them. And then the last one, the computer says that I should just play onto that stack on the 3-point, and I just can't conceive of that because I've already got 4 checkers on the 3-point, and that's so many. So I decide now's the time to hit, which was a pretty big blunder. So, and I pay for it immediately. He rolls a 1-4, puts me on the bar, and then 4 just comes in, so that's nice. Fortunately for me, I'm able to come in right away, so come in with the 3. I could hit again because, it worked out so well last time, but instead I just come out. Because if he hits me off the midpoint, then that's kind of separating his checkers, and he does hit me off the midpoint. So hits with the 6 and then has a choice with the 2, decides to come down with the other one as well, which is, again, pretty good. 6-3 lets me come in and just run out. So now as long as I dodge a 2, then I'm in pretty good shape. I dodge the 2. It's a 4-1, which is okay-ish. So he could just make the 3-point. He decides to safety that other blot and then slot the 3-point instead. So now I'm looking at things and trying to decide whether or not to double. And I do decide to double. It's a relatively close doubling decision, so that was a pretty good find. It's a pretty big take, but it's a very close decision on the double, pretty easy decision on the take. We get a 5-2, so go ahead and move the back checkers forward. The 2-1 lets him fill in that point on the 3, and then, set up to have some flexibility to make the ace point. And now double 3s I find tricky to play because I would like to play the midpoint down, but instead go ahead and make the 2-point, which is apparently not right. It wanted me to just have a big stack on the 11. So I find that confusing, but doubles are sometimes tricky. Double sixes hits. So that was a terrible bit of luck for me. It's a luck factor of minus 1.002 for that roll for me. So that's a big swing in his direction. Ace 2 had come in, and I'm able to safety that lot. So that is pretty good. And he redoubles, and I pass immediately. So so he wins another 2 points. So again, actually I had it on the match setting, not the game setting. So game 1, and I said I had he did have the better luck there on game 1 and game 2. So and outplayed me on game 2. So game 3, here we go. Get a 5-3 to start. He makes his 3-point standard opening move. 6-5 lets me run the back checker, so that's pretty good. 6-1 lets him make the bar point. And double threes, I just immediately make the bar because it unstacks the midpoint, but it wanted me to do the 2 homeboard points instead. 4-3 is not super easy to play. You definitely have to split the back checkers, and what the computer likes is actually splitting both of them forward, which makes sense. It helps you to get both of them to escape. But there are other alternatives, so it's you can't really make a homeboard point. You can make the 2-point, but like that is not the point you want. Wait, can you make the 2-point? What was the roll? 4-3. So you can make the 4-point. It's not really the point you want. And also it means that you're leaving the blot on the bar point, which you don't want to do. So ultimately goes with splitting and unstacking the 6. And now I get another set of double threes, and this time I do make 2 homeboard points move. Comes in right away with the double 1, so enters, then stepping forward is important, and getting that safety is important, and I don't even think about the double, though I ought to, and roll a 5-3, which lets me cover the blot and step forward, so now I'm in great shape. 4-1. Might as well strengthen your board. You can't really do much of else. And, I'm down in the match score. I've got a pretty good prime in front of them. I'm set to escape my last checker. Everything about this is going my way. The only question is, it's like, probably stopping to count the race here at this point. I'm up by 22 pips. But, so, I've got position because I've got the good prime, got the race. Threat is that I can, escape the back checker or extend the prime. And so I double and he passes. And so that was a fairly quick game. Pretty low PR on that one because of the misplayed double threes. So anyway, now we go into game 4. So 4-3 to start. He plays 2 down, which is fine. I get a 3-2, so I also play 2 down because he played 2 down. And so that's frequently when your opponent does something and you can do the same thing, then do the same thing. It keeps the game even. He makes his bar point. I'm able to hit him outside, so that's a positive for me. He's able to hit me back, so that's a positive for him. Keeps being pretty balanced. 3-2. That's me safety. I could have hit here, and I didn't even think about the hit. I should have, because, you know, should always think about the hit when you can. 6-5, a little bit unclear what to do. He doesn't want to leave that blot out there on you know, that outside point. So he just plays a couple of checkers down to the 8. The computer wants you to actually run one of the back checkers there. 6-5 lets me escape and come around. So I would have hit him if he had left the blot there. Now he gets a 6-5, and that lets him run one to the midpoint. Double 4s. So I look at just making the 5 point because that's like the obvious thing, and then say, wait a second, let me look at, I could escape and then pull 2 down. That would be another option. And let me do that, but you know, it's making the 5 points seem stronger, so I do that. 6-4 lets him hit outside, so terrible sequence for me. 2-6 can come in, and then I can just spot the next point I want to make. So it's not so bad. 5-3. So again, I could safely do something with that block on the outside the point, but making the 3 point is pretty clear and pretty strong. 5-4 lets me cover the point that I just slotted and slot the next point I want to make. So pretty good shape. And he goes ahead and doubles, which is again, it's a good double, pretty close double, but a much bigger take than it is a double. So I saw that pretty easily. Or I was just steaming because I was down in the match score or something. Not sure. 6-2, just put a couple down. Just, you know, sort of okay. 6-2. So this is an opportunity to escape one of those back checkers, and I let that opportunity pass. So, oops. 6-3 makes the next point. So I'm getting a little bit trapped back there. Double 6s is a forced move. There's no option but to make my ace point. Not the worst thing. But it's again pretty stuck back there. So now 5-3. Makes sense to put an extra builder on your 5 point because now you get it easier to trap me in there. 3-1 lets me at least anchor so I don't get pointed on. Kind of gammon save mode at this point. 6-5 lets them come down and then just you know, somebody behind is fine. Yeah, it's good. In fact, double 2s is a pretty lucky roll for me. Let me step forward and forward. So now when I get a shot, I'm in good shape. 6-5 just plays pull behind. Might as well use that as an opportunity to make a point. So pretty good. 4-3. So much for having a complete closeout board. Might as well last in that one roll. 6-4. Let's just take a couple of now double 6 is my luckiest roll of the day probably. So that lets me just go ahead and that's got a plus 0.954 look on that factor one. So that was makes up for the lost probably I'm in good shape, but I mean, I was thought I'll be in good shape on game one too. So instead of losing, so who knows? 6-1, I'm at 96% to win, almost as good as it was near the end of the game one. 5-3, gets to take 2 off. 4-1, it's going well. 6-2. Alright, location